Coming up in the last segment, I wanted to play a clip from a film in the 70s called Zero Population. And we're doing research. It's the same name, but we're not sure it was the same person. But it looks like Paul R. Ehrlich was involved in making it. The actual people. And we found out these guys are like master planners of everything in our life, basically. That's why we got Jay Rockefeller on video worshiping Holdren. Okay, I'm going to cover this now. I'm going to cover this right now. When you watch CNN, and it's so slick, and they've got the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff on almost nightly now explaining how great the Afghan war is, and everything is so slick and high def. You have to understand that 20, 30, 40 years ago, the establishment was making news reporters behave as actors, but now they've just gotten rid of the journalist and replaced them with actors posing as journalists. You understand? So when you go back to 1991 and the start of the Gulf War, and we've got great reports on this from a few years ago at prisonplanet.com. I saw another good report from the Tonka Report. We'll put that up on screen right here. CNN Charles Jacko in Saudi Arabia. During the 91 Gulf War, CNN broadcast fake coverage from studios in Saudi Arabia. Viewers suspected nothing. And I remember watching this. I was glued to CNN at my friends' houses and at my girlfriend's house growing up in Dallas. That was right before I moved to Austin. And I remember in high school, just American flag on my car, yellow ribbons on the house, just totally into it. And you see CNN's Charles Jacko joke off camera about the hoax they were playing. Don't think for a moment they've stopped doing this. One only has to watch this clip to understand how a global media giant like CNN can fool not just a population, but the entire planet. And I was in the comment section of InfoWars last night reading some comments because I always get good tips. And somebody was in there asking me, Alex, why haven't you covered this? We actually broke this in the late 1990s. I was sent the footage reportedly by somebody at CNN. And it was sent to me in beta tape. I had to get it transferred locally. We aired this in 1997, maybe it was 98. Somewhere that report is out there. Again, I have 3 storage buildings full of I used to do 3, 4 TV shows depending on which week it was a week. But I did this. But we also have a tape somewhere. Maybe somebody I couldn't find it last night. Maybe somebody can mail it. I know it was on PBS on some stations where Dan Rather did fake newscast even before Desert Shield. And then during Desert Shield and Desert Storm, from CBS Broadcast Center, there's fake reports. I mean, there's so many of these I can't even keep. We didn't break that. I remember using clips of that as well, though. So, yes, I know about this. I broke it. I know all about it. Now, and I'm glad you brought it to our attention because you think about how ridiculous this is 18 years ago, 18 years into the beginning of the siege on Iraq and the at least 3 million dead total. In the last 6.5 years of liberation, it's 1,300,000 conservatively, but it's upwards of 3 million. Lancet Journal and other prestigious organizations that are nonpartisan have come up with that. So there's a bunch of these clips, and if you just Googled, for those listening on the radio, want to see these, I got Watson doing another blurb report, kind of condensing our older reports on this, and some of the things people posted on Prison Planet. Like I said, the Tonka report's pretty good on this. There's a whole bunch of these videos, and there's him going, we're being hit. There's Scuds coming in. Oh, my God. And then later they're joking, about how they're going to pose and act like they're afraid of sarin nerve gas, which Saddam didn't fire. And then they do this whole thing where they pose, and you see him in his ear getting the order. She's going, do you have your gas mask? And he's going, I don't have the report. Then he hears it, and then they do this stage thing where one puts on a helmet and the other guy puts on the gas mask, and they're actually laughing like 10-year-olds in a elementary school 5th grade play. Now, that's because these are journalists being forced to be actors. And then I remember in 2000 it came out, even in the Washington Post, which is the pot calling the kettle black, and WorldNet Daily as well, reporting that CNN admittedly has CIA writing the news. In fact, you can just Google that. We'll do that later. So here is some of these clips. The point is that here's a shot where one of the reporters has a helmet on. The other guy does this fake thing where he's scared and does a fake panic, putting a gas mask on. You see him trying to not laugh. But the reason I'm going to play this is you see this today and it's ridiculous. But I remember seeing them re-air it, the fear. I don't know if it was live or not. I remember seeing them, oh my God, it's so scary, they're putting gas masks on. And this was big news. I'm sure you all remember it as well, if you were old enough to remember it at the time, 18 years ago, because it was, my God, the missiles are coming in. They're scared. They've got masks on. Because we didn't know to not trust the media then. Now it's Anderson Cooper, glowing screens, high def, totally slick. And it's scary, folks. So there's a whole bunch of these clips. Let's play the one first where the reporter is talking to him and going to him. Then we'll play some of the live satellite feeds that were going over satellites that news people could pick up but that weren't on TV. Where in between this, he's doing duck imitations of Donald Duck and screwing around and smoking cigarettes and laughing and playing with the ponytails of cameramen. And then 5 minutes later, oh my gosh, we're being hit. Here it is. Let's play one of the clips.
You need to take cover. I notice that you've got your gas mask in your hands. If you need to put it on, please do so. If you need to take cover, please do so. If you are able to take a question, did you think that the possible threat would be over because it is now morning there? It's what, just after 6 o'clock in the morning?
The whole thing is everyone assumed that the threat would be over because it was early morning. But the thing about Saddam Hussein is that he has never done the expected, and right now we have,
all right, pause.
Once again.
Now, this is what actually aired on CNN, the footage you're seeing. And for radio listeners, it's a split screen, the woman in CNN Center, Atlanta, next to the reporter, Charles Jacka. Okay. And they got fake palm trees. They got a blue screen behind him so they can project, the image of the city behind him during daytime shots. This is a nighttime shot. Then we have the raw satellite feeds where there's none of that. And where he is laughing and joking, and it's all ridiculous. Let's go back to the clip.
An apparent attack, although we can't say what the outgoing missiles hit, at approximately 20 after 7 in the morning Saudi Arabian time. All the other attacks have occurred from 10 o'clock at night till 4 in the morning. This is the first one to take place in eastern Saudi Arabia during the daylight hours. Now, that sound you hear behind me is the hotel. Richard Thicker. It's not the national by afternoon. So people are looking.
Right there, he screwed up and admitted they were in a hotel basement. So they click and put some feeds over it so they can tell him, shut up, stop it. Because these guys, this is one of the first times they've got him flat out acting. Because they're like, look, we've got to have it like you're really there. He's really in a soundstage somewhere. So let's continue. And then he gets the other reporter up, and they do this. He goes, you seeing at the order? He goes, okay, you're saying put my gas mask on. She's like, yes, put your gas mask on. And he waits a minute, and he goes, oh, I'm scared. I thought he's there taking the orders. I mean, this is a 10-year-old could have done better acting in this, okay? But the guy should be a comedian. He's got natural comic genius. Let's go back to the fake newscast. Here it is.
Richard Thicker. It's not the national by afternoon. So people are looking up in the skies, scanning the skies to see what they can see. Do we see much of anything out there? Can we see much of anything? Okay, well, apparently there was some word of outgoing. Again, we cannot be specific about the direction. All we are now led to understand that there are also firings in another city in Saudi Arabia. CNN's Carl Rochelle is here with me. He just came up. Carl, I know we can't be very specific given these restrictions, but within those parameters, what did you see?
Well, what I saw, I didn't see anything hit. I looked almost straight above us. There's a vapor trail coming from.
Now they've got fake alarms going in the soundstage. And now they're gonna tell him, okay, put your gas mask on, and then he gets the orders that you can't hear, and then does the staged freak out in a minute. One guy puts a helmet on, the other a mask. I mean, this is Laurel and Hardy level. Now it's all glistening, scientific, perfect outfits, reading off teleprompters, videos in the background to distract you, switch you into a subconscious mode.